Salmon, one of the precious fish, can be caught by many different methods depending on the area and purpose. One of the popular ways is to catch salmon by net. People will use fishing nets to harvest salmon when they move in schools in rivers or seas. This method requires careful preparation and sometimes the help of mechanical means to collect fish from large areas. In addition, salmon fishing is also a very popular way, especially with fishermen and tourists who love sport fishing. This method is often done in freshwater areas such as rivers and streams, where salmon migrate. Anglers will use natural bait or artificial bait, usually fake bait that looks like baby fish, to attract fish. While fishing, technique and patience are the key factors to catching salmon. Each method of catching salmon requires an understanding of fish behavior and environmental factors such as season and weather conditions. Helping fishermen to be highly effective in exploiting this fish species. In addition, another method of catching salmon is using salmon farms, aquaculture. This is a popular method in areas where there are not enough wild salmon resources. In farms, salmon are cared for and raised in cages or closed ponds, where they are provided with food and their growth environment is controlled. When the time is right, the salmon will be harvested and transported to consumer markets. This method of fish farming helps maintain a stable supply of salmon, while reducing pressure on natural fishing, protecting wild salmon populations. In addition to commercial fishing, there are also many conservation and research-based salmon fishing activities. Scientists often tag salmon to track their migration routes, as well as study the factors that affect the growth and development of this fish species. Conservation organizations also promote sustainable fishing methods, minimizing negative impacts on the environment and wild salmon populations, to ensure the long-term development of this fish species. To ensure the sustainability of salmon fishing, many countries and international organizations have established strict regulations on fishing quotas and fishing seasons. These regulations help regulate the number of salmon caught each year, prevent overfishing and protect the ecological environment. Fishermen often have to comply with regulations on fish size, fishing time and permitted areas, and apply advanced technologies to minimize negative impacts on the ecosystem. In addition to management measures, educating the community about the importance of conserving salmon and their habitats also plays an important role. Salmon awareness campaigns and research programs are increasingly being implemented, raising awareness of protecting natural resources. With the development of advanced technologies in the aquaculture industry, it is hoped that salmon will continue to be a valuable food source, while protecting wild populations in the future. In short, Salmon fishing is an activity that brings great economic value, but also requires sustainable management to ensure that this resource is not exhausted. Fishing methods combined with environmental protection regulations and fish population conservation will help maintain the stable development of salmon, while protecting precious natural resources for future generations in addition to fishing management and conservation measures. The development of advanced fishing technologies and methods also plays an important role in maintaining the sustainability of the salmon aquaculture industry. One of the new trends is the application of information technology and big data to monitor and analyze fishing conditions, as well as environmental factors affecting salmon growth. Satellite monitoring systems and underwater sensors can track salmon migration routes, thereby making appropriate fishing decisions, avoiding overfishing and helping to protect areas important for fish growth. In particular, the development of salmon strains that are fast-growing, disease-resistant and adaptable to closed environment farming conditions has helped reduce dependence on wild fish stocks. These strains can be raised in aquaculture farms, providing a stable supply and reducing pressure on wild salmon populations. However, this farming also requires strict management processes to avoid environmental pollution and the spread of diseases. Finally, cooperation between countries and international organizations is an important factor in protecting salmon. With the characteristic of migrating through many territories, salmon needs global coordination in maintaining protection regulations and ensuring that salmon resources are not depleted. Only when countries cooperate and have reasonable protection policies will salmon have the opportunity to develop sustainably, providing a valuable food source for humans and protecting natural ecosystems. In addition to management and technological solutions, maintaining the sustainability of the salmon aquaculture industry also depends on the participation of communities and social organizations. Propaganda campaigns on the benefits of protecting salmon and their habitat have attracted the attention of many people and businesses. Activities such as promoting the consumption of farmed salmon instead of wild fish, or launching volunteer programs to protect rivers and streams where salmon migrate, all contribute to raising awareness about conservation issues and minimizing negative impacts on natural resources. At the same time, the seafood industry is also focusing on researching and developing sustainable salmon farming methods to limit the impact of fish farming activities on the environment. Technologies such as water recycling systems in fish farms, minimizing the use of antibiotics and chemicals, or building self-cleaning fish cages, help reduce environmental pollution and reduce the spread of disease in farms. In addition, Developing salmon products also contributes to creating sustainable sources of income for the community. Salmon products, such as smoked salmon, canned salmon or ready-to-eat dishes, not only meet the demand for food consumption but also create added value from salmon processing. This not only helps protect wild salmon, but also promotes the economic development of communities related to the seafood industry. In short, protecting and developing the salmon seafood industry is not a simple task, but requires the coordination of many factors, from reasonable management measures, application of advanced technology, to changing community awareness and active participation of conservation organizations. Only when all these factors are combined harmoniously can the salmon industry develop sustainably. Provide valuable food sources and protect the biodiversity of aquatic ecosystems in addition to conservation and sustainable development solutions. Maintaining the growth and development of salmon also needs to pay attention to climate change factors. Climate change is strongly affecting the natural habitats of salmon, especially the rivers and streams where salmon spawn and migrate. Changing water temperatures, low river levels, or environmental disturbances caused by storms, floods and droughts can seriously affect the survival and migration of salmon. To cope with these challenges, research and forecasting the impacts of climate change on salmon habitats are becoming increasingly important. Scientists are developing climate forecasting models to help identify areas at high risk of impact, thereby providing timely prevention and intervention measures. For example, improving irrigation infrastructure to regulate water levels, or establishing protected areas to provide salmon with more stable environments for spawning and migrating, is another important issue. Pollutants from industry, agriculture, and domestic activities can degrade water quality and directly affect salmon health. Therefore, it is necessary to strengthen water quality monitoring, and improve environmental protection measures. Cleanup campaigns for rivers and lakes, reducing toxic discharges, and improving waste management in fish farming areas are all necessary actions to protect clean water resources for salmon and other aquatic life. Finally, policies to support fishermen and salmon farms in transitioning to sustainable production methods are important. Subsidies for the adoption of clean technology, training courses on sustainable resource management, and financial support programs for safe and efficient salmon farming models will help minimize negative impacts on the environment. In particular, encouraging fishermen to participate in certified sustainable farming models, such as organic or responsible farming certification, will create strong incentives for developing a sustainable and environmentally friendly salmon industry. In short, Maintaining the sustainable development of the salmon industry requires asynchronous coordination between conservation solutions, science, and technology, public education, management policies, and climate change response. These efforts will not only help protect salmon but also protect important aquatic ecosystems. Thereby creating a sustainable future for the seafood industry and the community. To continue to maintain the sustainable development of the salmon industry, international cooperation also plays a key role. Salmon are migratory species, so their protection cannot be based on individual measures of each country, but requires global coordination. Countries that share salmon migration routes, especially those in the Arctic, North America and Europe, need to establish common agreements and regulations on the protection of this fish species. International organizations such as the FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, and the WWF, Worldwide Fund for Nature, play an important role in developing synchronous conservation policies and promoting cooperative initiatives between countries. In addition, studies on the interactions between other aquatic species in the ecosystem where salmon live also need to be focused. Protecting salmon is not only about protecting this fish species but also protecting the entire aquatic ecosystem, including other aquatic species, benthic organisms and their natural habitats. Only when the ecosystem is maintained healthy can the species develop stably, thereby helping salmon have favorable conditions for growth and migration. At the same time, sustainable salmon farming models are also being improved and expanded. Today's salmon farms increasingly focus on using natural resources efficiently, while minimizing negative impacts on the environment. One of the prominent trends is the application of technologies, such as recirculating aquaculture systems,